With me today is the Chery Tiggo 7 PHEV, which is notably the most affordable plug-in hybrid currently available in Malaysia. However, I was told today to prepare for a challenge, although I'm not entirely sure what form that challenge will come in. Thank you. You have 10 minutes to accurately explain the Chery Super Hybrid system and the rest of the day to demonstrate its abilities. Failure to do so will result in the forfeiture of a beloved item. Right. Now, the Tiggo 7 Hybrid might appear like just a new variant in the Tiggo 7 lineup, but actually this car has been given a thorough going over in terms of its aesthetic revisions. Up front, for example, there is now a completely redesigned grille with new chrome pins to make this car look a little bit more elegant, and that grille is flanked by a set of full LED headlights replete with scrolling LED indicators. Moving further down, you also get a reprofiled front bumper in order to improve aerodynamic performance, which is why you will find performance script on either side, because it's a performance hybrid. Moving down the side, you will find a set of 18-inch dual-tone diamond-cut alloy wheels wrapped in Maxxis Vectra tires. Now, I appreciate the fact that Chery has resisted the urge to make these wheels look like overtly aerodynamically efficient items, which I find tend to ruin the aesthetic appeal of a car. In addition to this, the Tiggo 7 Hybrid is also available in a smattering of new colors. This is Phantom Grey, and you can also get khaki white, but I think my pick of the range is certainly Bloodstone Red, where not only is the bodywork done in red, but the roof is done up in a contrasting black, which I think looks quite smart. And at the back of the Tiggo 7 Hybrid, as you can see, it looks like basically a brand new car. Because, for example, you now get full-width LED taillights with a design motif that we first saw from the Tiggo Cross. And moving further down, there is also a reprofiled rear bumper, which now makes this car look a little bit neater and a little bit cleaner compared to its pure combustion model. Now, behind this tailgate, you will see that despite this car becoming a plug-in hybrid, that hasn't negatively impacted this car's overall practicality, because there is plenty of room in here for 5 people's worth of luggage for a weekend away, and certainly more than enough space for the daily grind. More importantly, if you need to expand that space, you can actually fold the rear seats 60/40 and they fold completely flat, which means that even if you need to move house, for example, there is plenty of space in the back of a Tiggo 7 PHEV. The 1.6-litre turbo from the Tiggo 7 Pro has been swapped out for a 1.5-litre turbocharged inline-4, which produces 143 PS and 215 Newton-meters of torque. That then gets paired to a 204 PS, 310 Newton-meter electric motor and a dedicated hybrid transmission, which then results in a combined output of 279 PS and 365 Newton-meters of torque through the front wheels. Now, because this is a plug-in hybrid, underneath here lies an 18.3 kilowatt-hour LFP battery. Now, according to Chery, that is good to provide this car an all-electric range of about 90 kilometers on the NEDC cycle. Unlike a lot of other PHEVs, the Tiggo 7 Pro can actually accept a 40 kilowatt DC charge connection, which means that you can top this car up from dead to full in about 20 minutes. Via an AC charger at 6.6 kilowatts, that only takes 3 hours. Now, more importantly, this car also comes with vehicle-to-load functionality of up to 3.3 kilowatts, which means that you can effectively use your Tiggo 7 Pro like a massive power bank, which can turn your camping trip into a glamping trip. Now, it's all very easy to explain this in theory, but what I'd rather do now is show you in practice. And because it's about lunchtime and I'm kind of hungry, I'm going to drive from KL to Ipoh and explain to you the intricacies of this hybrid system and why it is that the Chery Super Hybrid system is a bit different from what you'd expect from a typical PHEV. Now, in a typical plug-in hybrid, the car will normally seek to exhaust its battery capacity as much as possible. So if you charge it up to full, it will utilize 100% of the battery until it's fully depleted. And then at that point, the internal combustion engine will kick on and then provide motive force. In doing so, sure, you get very good electric range, and provided that you can do your commute on all-electric power alone, theoretically you use no fuel. That said, however, when you do that, once the battery is depleted and the petrol engine or the internal combustion engine has to provide the motivation for the car, you will find that it tends to be a little bit inefficient in doing so, because it has to essentially haul all this dead weight in the form of the electric motor as well as that large high voltage battery. However, the Chery Super Hybrid system works a little bit differently. That's because your primary motivation in this car actually comes in the electric motor, which means that 90% of the time, thereabouts, you're driving about in town at lower speed applications, your motive force is driven by the electric motor. As a result, you benefit from things like instant torque, that really punchy performance, as well as very smooth and quiet operation, the stuff that you would normally associate with EVs. And you can do that for, again, up to 90 kilometers on a full charge, which I think is quite impressive in and of itself. However, once the battery in this car hits about 20% state of charge, at that point the petrol engine will wake up. However, in low speed applications, that engine will work primarily as a generator in order to generate enough power to feed back into the battery, which will then feed the electric motor, which means that again you essentially have an EV driving experience when you're driving about in town, but none of the range anxiety. It's only when you're on the motorway, like I am now, that's when the engine takes a slightly different role. With this car's dedicated hybrid transmission, it means that the engine can be clutched in to power the wheels directly, because according to Chery, during high-speed situations, this is the most efficient way to motivate the car to push it forward and to maintain speed. As a result, it means that no matter what, this car always feels like it's got enough power for you to do whatever it is that you need it to do. And because this 1.5 litre 4-cylinder is a pretty punchy engine in and of itself, at no point does this car feel underpowered. In fact, the engine can actually produce excess power. So what happens when the car produces excess power is that, say, 80% of it will go to the wheels, and then the excess 20% will go back to the battery, which means that no matter what, you always have some charge available, allowing you to access this car's full performance, no matter what. There are, of course, a myriad of drive modes and settings and whatever to set up this car exactly how you want it. But it seems to me that Chery has engineered this system to work its best in the background. So all you do is get in and drive. Everything else is handled by the car, and as far as I can tell, works pretty well. Now, the thing about most PHEVs is that they only charge AC, which means that if you were to stop at a motorway services to use the bathroom and have a coffee or whatever, it's really not going to make much of a difference if you plug in or not, because you can't really get that significant a charge during that short stop. However, because the Tiggo 7 PHEV accepts DC charging, that 20-minute stop can make a huge difference, as I will now demonstrate. So in just over 20 minutes, we've added about 12 kilowatt hours worth of power, which is giving us an all-electric range of just under 70 kilometers, which means that I can potter around here on electric power alone. So without further ado, lunch. So because I charged the car as we exited the motorway, almost the entirety of my driving around Ipoh has been done on electric charge alone. And that is why the Tiggo 7 PHEV is able to claim range of 1,200 kilometers on a single tank and a single charge of fuel. In fact, this is real-world efficiency, which Chery has verified various instances across the globe. And actually, when it comes to testing, Chery is a little bit nuts, honestly. They go above and beyond, like they submerge the LFP pack in salt water for 58 hours in Indonesia just to prove how durable that pack really is. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they've even gone as far as stacking cars on top of each other to prove how tough they are. Mental stuff. Lunch done and time to head back to KL, with the car still reporting an astonishing 4.7 litres per 100. All of that in a car that's big enough to fit 5 people and all the flotsam that come with it. With this car's Level 2 semi-autonomy safety systems making light work of long motorway journeys. Plus, with things like ventilated and heated front seats, dual zone climate control, a Sony audio system with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, there's really not much to complain about in here. You could keep going for a long time. 1,200 kilometers between stops. But say you live in a condo the way I do, and charging might not be that convenient for you. Well, because you can DC charge, you can very easily do that outside, but in fact, even if you don't at all, the Tiggo 7 PHEV will still return an average of under 5 liters to the 100, which is why this car is still reporting a range of over 230 kilometers on about a quarter tank of fuel. Which means that your Tiggo 7 PHEV and this Chery Super Hybrid system is truly prepared for anything. Charge it, don't charge it, no matter what, your Chery Tiggo 7 PHEV will always be with you. So, how'd I do?